I know what a lot of you regular viewers are saying. The channel is back. It was putting out regular videos for a couple of weeks and then went dark again. That's my fault. I got myself a little sick. I got the RSV virus, the respiratory virus, which turned into pneumonia. So if my voice sounds a little weird or if I have to pause, take a drink of water, that's why I'm not even close to 100% yet. But I wanted to get back on and get something out there talking about comics. And while I'm not up to doing one of my usual videos with all the layouts and slideshows and everything, I thought just maybe do an unscripted video and kind of go through the new releases for all the new studios. Might be a fun way to do it, just opine a little bit on a few of them. If this is something popular, maybe I'll do this weekly or something. But let's get into it. So we're going to start with DC Comics. They're first up. So this is their page of offerings here. We got the Atom Project, which is like a Justice League spinoff, featuring all the characters that are like the Atom. There's Captain Atom, the Atom, all those guys. So if you're into Justice League, not a bad pickup, I'm sure. Got a Batman miniseries here. I know nothing about this book. Looks like it has to do with werewolves. I don't even know the creative team behind it. It's already on issue 4, so this one's kind of passed me by. I do read the regular Batman title, and I'll sprawl over to Detective if it looks interesting, but that's kind of my max on Batman usually for the month. Birds of Prey, I don't know a lot about this. If the cover looks good, if this is a cover comic I should be reading, maybe let me know in the comments. I know Kelly Thompson's reading it. I'm not usually a fan of hers at all, or Kelly Thompson's writing it rather. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big Teen Titans Go fan. I do see that Secret Six has a new title up. Maybe we should look at that a little bit more. So let's check out this lineup. Who do we have here? So I'm guessing that's Connor Kent, Superboy. It doesn't look like, or no, that's probably Jonathan. Connor would have the jacket. So yeah, it's probably John Kent, Superboy, Superman's actual son. I see Catman way back there. Dream Girl, Deadshot. I think this is Black Alice. And I don't know. I'm guessing this is John Kent's boyfriend because of the pink hair. I'm not sure. If you guys want to go back into the archives and check out my reviews of John Kent's comic, you'll see I'm not a fan of his. Did not like the John Kent Superman book. What do we have here? In the wake of Absolute Power, what did you guys think of Absolute Power? I read the whole thing. I didn't read all the tie-ins. I just read the main series, and then if it tied into any of the books that I was collecting. And honestly, the few DC titles I was collecting that did tie into Absolute Power, I thought were kind of like down points in the runs that they're currently on. Anyway, I digress. The Justice League has returned, and the war criminal Amanda Waller is in jail, but it's not all as it seems. Dreamer, it is John Kent, and Jay Nakamura, I'm pretty sure that was his boyfriend's name, have discovered that Waller has been kidnapped along with every crucial world-changing piece of information stored in her head. It's now a race against time between our 3 heroes and 3 villains closest to Waller: Deadshot, Catman, and Black Alice. Definitely Deadshot and probably Catman fit that. I don't know Black Alice. She's not like a mainstay Suicide Squatter, I wouldn't say. Stop the newly reformed Checkmate from seizing power on a planetary scale. Can these 6 reluctant teammates reclaim blah blah blah? Okay, so yeah, interesting setup. What do we got here? Nicole Maines. Oh, Steven Segovia. He is, in my opinion, one of the best artists working in comics right now. If he's doing this, that sadly means he's probably going to be leaving The Scorched, which right now is one of my favorite titles. I hope that's not true. I will probably pick this up just because he's the artist. I love Segovia's work. It is so cool, so fun to look at. I really hope this doesn't mean he's off The Scorched, because I love that book. And I don't want to have to get used to a new artist. All right, let's get back to DC. What else we got here? A Nice House by the Sea. I think that's James Tynion's book. It's a Vertigo. I didn't know DC had revived the Vertigo imprint. We got a Batgirl. I'm pretty sure that's Cassandra Cain. What else we got here? Oh, I see Poison Ivy. Man, this character, DC has flubbed this character, in my opinion. They've taken her from an interesting femme fatale villain, one of the better Batman villains. Then they made her the boring girlfriend of Harley Quinn, and now she's just this boring Earth spirit who just does boring things. I really don't like what they've done with Poison Ivy in the comics. Two-Face, he's got his own comic for those of you who are Two-Face fans, I guess. I don't know why he would deserve one. Let's see. We got a Batman graphic novel, The Dark Prisons. This is still him against Failsafe, that robot thing. Who out there's been reading the Bat titles? Curious what everybody thinks of Chip Zdarsky's run. I think it's been up and down. There's been some chapters I've really enjoyed, and there's been some chapters that I think are really, really bad. So it's definitely been an inconsistent Batman run. I have been enjoying George Jimenez's art. I know he's going to be doing the reboot. Batman's getting rebooted with a new #1 in a couple of months with Matt Fraction, I think, is going to be writing it with George Jimenez, which I think is a fantastic creative team, as much as I hate when they take a long-running book and reboot it to #1. That is a dynamite creative team, and I hope they stick with it for a while. Multiverses Collision Detected. So this looks like some kind of crossover between the Justice League and like Cartoon Network characters. Pass. Just pass. Little Batman month 1, yeah, pass. Green Arrow. Green Lantern. I think the Green Lantern books are kind of stuck in a weird kind of limbo. Yeah, I don't know. They need something needs to invigorate the entire Green Lantern corner of the DC universe. I think they haven't had a big story or just anything that's drawn me to this title in a while. Green Arrow, I didn't know still had his own comic, so that tells you what I knew about him. Power Girl, I read the first and actually did a review on the first couple of issues of the series. I thought they were terrible. I don't know if it's gotten any better. I dropped it after those 2 issues because I do kind of like Power Girl. She's a cool character. But yeah, they kind of did her dirty in the new series. So yeah, we passed that by. So we're going to jump on over to Image, who puts out a lot of my favorite books right now are Image books. So I really look forward to what they have every month. See if they have anything interesting here. Convert, I don't know anything about this series. I see here we got Invincible. Now, this isn't actual Invincible. These are just reprints still. They're just milking the hell out of the Invincible project or series. They've been re-releasing all the original issues with new covers so people can kind of re-experience them again who weren't there for the original run. I mean, that's a cool idea, but I love Invincible. I would love some new content. And I know we are getting a Battle Beast series from the original creative team coming out here, I think, in April. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, anything else I recognize here? Kea, Monkey Meat. I mean, that's the thing with DC or Image Comics. Their books are just all over the place. I mean, you can find any genre here. Red Coat. Now, Red Coat is from that Secret World group of comics. It's like Red Coat and Geiger and that sci-fi book. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. They're all somehow interconnected, yet not. It's weird. Red Coat, that's the Brian Hitch book. I mean, the art in this book is supreme, next level. It's so Brian Hitch is just on. He draws on a level most artists just can't even understand. And I love looking at the book. I kind of got out of the story. I hung with it for about 6 or 7 issues. And it's good. It's just, I can only get so many books a month, and it never, as much as I enjoyed it, as much as I love looking at it, it just never hooked me. I never got to the point where every month I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next Red Coat. It's kind of historical fiction. They throw a lot of actual historical characters in there. I know Ben Franklin was one of a major character in the series. So stuff like that. So it's kind of fun, especially if you like history, to see this character who's kind of like skirting along historical figures and historical events through the eyes of this immortal soldier. It's kind of interesting. Sam and Twitch, that's new from Todd McFarlane's series. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd issue. I try to support as many of Todd McFarlane's books as I can because, one, I like the Spawn universe. I've been with Spawn since the beginning, but also because he keeps his book at $2.99, which is right in that affordable price point. So I really try to support it as best I can and get as many of his titles as I can per month. And like I said, right now, he's got a book, The Scorched, which is like a team book that operates within the Spawn universe. It's a super fun book if you guys aren't reading it. And like I said, Steven Segovia has been the artist. I hope he's going to continue to be the artist. And his art on that book is fantastic. The story is just fun. I mean, it's not groundbreaking. We're not. It's not the next Watchmen, but it's just a fun superhero team book. And I've been enjoying it. I really have been. There's Walking Dead. They're doing the same thing as Invincible. They're just re-releasing The Walking Dead with new covers. We see King Ezekiel here with his tiger. So it kind of tells you what era of The Walking Dead the reprints are in now. Again, we're just kind of milking a popular property for a little extra. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. Ultra Mean? That's a thing. So yeah, nothing really interests me from the DC or the Image corner of the universe. Sam and Twitch would probably be my one and only pickup from this. And I honestly, this is issue 11. I didn't even know they were that far on. But yeah, see, like I said, $2.99. God, I want to support that. I want to support him keeping his books at that price point because I think it's important. I mean, you got Spider-Man books now. They come out twice a month and they're $5 each. I mean, you're borderline a streaming service subscription price point at that level. And I just don't know that there's any modern comics that are really worth that these days. I mean, very, very few. So speaking of Spider-Man, let's move on to the big boy himself, Marvel. Now, I have to say, the last video I was working on before I got really sick, I think Marvel is just kind of flatlined at this point. They're just dead. There's nothing there. There's nothing exciting happening at Marvel at all. I mean, all of their books are on some weird kind of cruise control. The events are just non-events. Like, they got this World According to Doctor Doom thing going on right now. It should be awesome. It's just not. It just seems like putting out comics for the sake of putting out comics. There's not really any creativity. We're not breaking any new ground. It doesn't even seem to like respect what came before it. I don't know. It's just in this weird position. I'll talk more about it in my video. We'll just get on to the releases here. So we got 3 chapters of the latest X-Men crossover. We just finished an X-Men crossover like a month ago. I read that where the 2 X-Men teams both had to break into the Greymalkin prison, which used to be the X-Mansion. One was to break out Beast. The other one was trying to break out, I think, Jubilee. And the 2 teams kind of clash because their ideologies aren't quite lining up. And the big crux of the big elephant in the room was Charles Xavier's being kept at this prison. Rogue, who leads one of the X-Men teams, wanted to free him. Cyclops, who leads the other, wanted him, believes he should stay in prison because he's a war criminal. So the 2 of them had kind of a clash over that. They ended up leaving him there, rescued their people that they wanted to get out of there, and Xavier choosing to stay behind in prison. But it looks like now Xavier's changed his mind and he's left. And we have this X-Man Hunt. So we got the first 3 parts of that through Uncanny X-Men, NYX, I know it's Nyx, but it's New York X, and Storm. For those of you who are reading the X books, which I know based on their sales numbers, there's not a lot of you. The X books are just rancid right now. I was hoping against hope that they would get good after the Krakoan era finally ended, but no. To my chagrin, they are terrible. The Thing's getting a comic. That's interesting. Wonder if they got to work on that. Tony Fleece, and I've heard of Nick Bradshaw. He drew X-Men for a while. That's actually a good artist for a book like The Thing. He's just the cover artist. Leonard Kirk, he's good too. I think he actually worked on the Fantastic Four main book for a while. So, interesting. Like this little lineup of villains we got here. This could be a fun, depending how they do it, this could be a fun book. I mean, The Thing is such a good character. And if you just put him in kind of a villain of the week scenario, I don't really see a way you can screw that up too badly. I want to get back to the new releases here. How do we do that? We got to scroll. Daredevil Born Again. Anybody watch that yet? I caught the first 2 episodes. Pretty good. Not bad. Not cool. I mean, there was a lot of exposition, so I'm not holding anything against it right now, but not quite the Netflix level of greatness. But it could. I think they got the groundwork to get there, so we'll see what they do with it. Doctor Strange of Asgard #1, pass. Whatever, I don't know what it is, but just pass. The Ultimates, man, what a disappointment the Ultimates have been. They were such a good. I liked such an interesting group of characters, such a good team. The setup of the new Ultimate Universe, kind of weird, but I was willing to see where they went with it. Then the Ultimate Spider-Man came out by Hickman, great. Ultimate Black Panther was okay. Ultimate X-Men, just not for me. I know a lot of people like that book. A lot of people really like the artist behind it. It's just too weird for me. It was not X-Men at all, in my opinion. So I couldn't stick with it. But yeah, Ultimates is just so bad. It's such a bad book, and I really wish it wasn't. Let's move along. Scarlet Witch still has her own title. I don't know why. We're on issue 10. I give this book 6 more issues before it's given the axe, I would think. Spider-Verse is a concept I'm done with. I am so over the entire Spider-Verse thing. Still like the movies. I'll still support those. Comic form, I don't like this whole idea that Spider-Man's just reduced to a costume. Anybody can be Spider-Man. That was the one thing I did not like about the original Miles Morales movies, was that anyone can wear the mask part. No, not anyone can be Spider-Man. Peter Parker is a whole mix of things that make him a great hero, and not anybody can just be Spider-Man. That's kind of what Spider-Verse is, and I'm just kind of over it. We're not getting any good characters out of it. We're certainly not getting any good stories out of it. So, I think it's time Marvel just kind of let that concept go. Plus, I think multiverse, just as a whole, as a storytelling device, needs to be buried. The core, another Wolverine title. Wolverine's probably doing stuff. Actually, I just read a book I think it was last week, the week before. It was a new X-Force, or Weapon X Factor, or Weapon X-Force, I think it was called. And it featured Cable, Wolverine, Chamber, Deadpool. It's actually pretty good. And it looks like Wolverine's in some kind of multi-title event where he's trying to hunt down somebody who's trying to get all the world's adamantium or something. And so, yeah, I'm sure it ties into that whole thing. Spectacular Spider-Man, or Spider-Men. Humberto Ramos is already off this book. That was the only thing that even had me remotely interested. I thought the first 2 issues, the only ones I read, were really badly written. And I'm not the biggest Miles fan, at least not the comic version of Miles, much as I like the animated version. I don't think he's very interesting when him and Peter exist in the same world. They should have kept Miles in his own ultimate universe, and where he's the primary Spider-Man after Peter dies. That's how he works. Or they should move him to a different city, or do something to make him his own character. Right now, he's just kind of like a Robin to Spider-Man, but they're both named Spider-Man. It's confusing. Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider, number 11. Again, Spider-Verse. Oh, and here's Spider-Boy. God dang, let it rest. I would love to see them just go down to Amazing Spider-Man and call it a day. I love Spider-Man. Still read his book every month. It was the first comic I ever collected. Still probably my favorite superhero. But, dude, I mean, not everybody needs to be Spider-Man. What else we got here? The Immortal Thor. Okay. Don't read the Thor comics. Latest iteration of Moon Knight. My problem with the Moon Knight comics these days is they try to lead too much into his insanity, and I'm not a big fan of that. I liked him back in the 90s, where his split personalities were more of a tool that he could use, and it was more not so much an insanity. It was kind of, he would sink into these different roles so that he would be flawless in whatever it was he was trying to do. If he needed to be the rich sophisticate, if he needed to be the bare knuckle brawler taxi driver, he would just become those people, and he would do it some more at will. It's not like there was a battle within his head, and it kind of kept him more in that Batman line of characters, but still gave him more of an interesting twist. And I liked him back then. Spider-Man Homeroom Heroes. No idea what that is. Looks like it's this what if Disney Mickey Mouse are kind of just books for kids, which is fun. Need some entry-level comics, I think. And then Star Wars Jedi Knights. Star Wars, this is just Disney Star Wars. Marvel Star Wars is almost as bad, so we ignore it. That's it for Marvel. So, continue to flatline. It's hooked up to life support. We just have that little rhythmic beat that something's barely still happening there. Nothing interesting, nothing creative, nothing that blows me away. They're going to put out a comic book and people will read them. So I figure we'll highlight just another studio before we finish. I was going to do Distillery, but I figured why not start, since this is the first time doing this, we'll go to Dark Horse Comics. Why not? Haven't picked up a Dark Horse book in a while, not since they lost all their good licenses to Marvel, which sucks for everybody. It sucks for Dark Horse because they lost a lot of their biggest titles. It sucks for all those titles because Marvel has mishandled every single one of them. Their Predator books are awful. Their Alien books are boring. And they don't do anything with the Terminator. So here we go. Arcbound. I have no idea what Arcbound is. Oh, I see a Dan Panosian cover, though. This dude, I remember this guy from the 90s. And he was an okay artist, worked on Youngblood and stuff, and he became a boss since then. This artwork that I see put out is really, really good. Now maybe this cover is a little static, but trust me, he's been putting out some weird stuff. This is issue number 4, so no idea what this one or Living Hell is, but we got a Usagi Yojimbo title. That's fun. So, Usagi the Samurai Rabbit. I haven't seen this guy in a while. I used to enjoy him when I was a kid. What's this? Here's something new. Let's highlight it. Sister Imperator number 1. Sister Imperator has been integral to the band Ghost and its lore since its founding. Is this based on a band, or is this character from something? Is this a spin-off? A representative of the clergy, she and her past have been shrouded in mystery until now. Discover Sister Imperator's hidden history and the gruesome events that led to her becoming a woman both loved and feared by so many, from her innocent origins in small town New England to the force behind Ghost. What's Ghost? In association with the metal band Ghost, mastermind Tobias Forge. None of this might well be written in a different language. I have no idea what they're talking about. Sadly, I have to say, cover's kind of interesting. This looks like it would be the ad for a TV movie about a haunted house that would come out around Halloween in the 80s or 90s, direct to TV. For any of you who are my age and remember those, they used to put every year they'd put out these like made for TV scary, quote unquote scary movies. This looks like the ad for one. Look at some interior page art. Let's look at it. Not much to tell from that. Okay. I mean, it's not bad. I don't like this color palette. It's like the color palette right now with a bunch of greens and teals and blues and pinks. It's kind of boring. The splash of blood. Yeah, I mean, this isn't grabbing. This looks like Commissioner Gordon. This isn't grabbing me. Nothing about this looks ultra interesting. And I have based on this, whoever wrote this description needs a little bit of help, because I have no idea what this book is about, who this character is. I don't know what Ghost is. Maybe if I knew the band Ghost, I'd be super excited for this. So yeah, here's that Tobias Forge guy again. He's one of the writers, along with Karina Bechko. And the artist is Pused. Okay, Pused. Oh, Lord. Modern comics. Can't wait for the new Pused comic. Not too peeling. Like I said, art's not bad. Didn't care for the colors. But that would be Thiago Roches. Thiago Roches? I don't know how to pronounce that, so I apologize if I mispronounced it. So I don't know. Maybe if we got another colorist behind Pused work, maybe it'll look just a little bit better, but I thought it was good. I mean, obviously I could follow what was going on. It looks like it was telling a story, and yeah, but ultimately nothing about this for a number one issue. They I don't know. They should have done more. So that's about all I've got time for. This video is already probably running a little bit long. I hope you guys stuck with it to the end. If you guys like this, want to hear me just do more unscripted, talking about what's coming out in comics, let me know. Maybe I'll try to make this kind of a weekly or so segment. But in the meantime, it's just good to be back and talk to you guys. Again, sorry I was gone for so long, and the video is kind of weird. This unscripted style is not what I usually do. But I hope to see you guys on the next one. And if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Get alerted whenever I drop a new video, which hasn't been often lately, but hopefully that will change. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Talk to you then.